Just a short sort of recording for my lovely friends, the Ray Peat fan club. Either side on, as you can see. Well, I've got a bit of greyness here. Yeah, fair enough. And above, I do have genetics for it, but still haven't gone all grey like my sisters did or my mother in their mid 30s. A bit of greyness up here in that area. It's just like a line you can see, sort of the grey there. It's behind. No signs of alopecia here. Usually have this part here that actually it becomes is less thick. Nothing strange down at the base. As you can see, side on and here, obviously this there, that grey thing just is what it is. It's starting to grow in that middle part, and so you can see it here, the sort of middle part, it's starting to grow, and that's how it actually happened to my mother as well. Like, I did look at some old photos, and then she started putting, dye through her hair. So, yeah, I'm probably heading that way. I'm 58, so possibly in 10 years' time, I'll be, yes, a bit like, it's a guy that sells the Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Colonel or whatever it is, and yeah, that bloke. So you can actually see I've got here and here is sort of here in this part, and here the greyness. The hair's pretty firm in here. You can see I'm just grabbing it to, there is hair in those areas. As you can see, and the side on as well. It's easier when it's short because anything like alopecia or like that will stand out, as a big opening where you can see the skin, which is obvious and all that. All I can say to my dear friend, Georgie Blinkoff, it seems the diet doesn't work for you, mate. Those extra carbs are not really bringing back and restoring that hair. I don't know, maybe you need a bit more meat, mate, and a bit more fat, maybe eat a bit more piggy. Oh, God, all that poofer. God, must be absolutely stressing you out. Oh, that's right. You'll probably get cortisol attack as a consequence of that. Don't stress out. You can avoid the piggy. That's fine, but stop the bullshit, mate. Stop the bullshit. I've got actually genetics for alopecia, for baldness, and for grey hair as well. But it seems that by extra meat eating in the last, what is it now? It's getting close to 14 years odd. It seems to have done wonders for me. So it's held back the greyness. Even though it's genetically predisposed, it's reversed the alopecia. It's reversed, and the baldness that was starting to happen. You'd say a steak a day keeps the hair on top. Yes, maybe you should eat more meat, Georgie, rather than carbs, mate. That's your problem. Let's not forget, it's all the kibble eaters that are eating 70% kibble that tend to have these hair problems, the majority of the sad dieters and the undernourished bagoons. Doing partially what they do doesn't seem to be working. And the problem is, Georgie, just because you think that reductionist nonsense supports some of your ridiculous arguments, when I look at your head, mate, I realise you got something really wrong, because most people that have got these sort of conditions that are expressed in older age, even though they may have some genetics, diets, the appropriate species, appropriate diets, or the right way can inhibit those things being expressed. Now, obviously, if you've got multi-generational like Bart or stuff like that, where you're born pretty much everybody with severe baldness from a very young age, well, it takes multiple generations like Pottinger's cats to reverse that. So, those genes are just turned on continuously. So you're not going to get. But when diet regulates whether they turn on or off, it seems that my diet is doing the right thing by me. Your diet, mate, is doing the wrong thing by you. The problem is, it's because you're so caught up in your own reductionist nonsense. That is why you are where you are. Problem is, most people like yourself have difficulty escaping it because it's really hard to understand biophysics and understand things in a more nuanced way and understand things from a systems analysis. You're not going to get much from reductionist research. But when you can actually use your mind and see the thing as a system and understand the interacting parts and see patterns and work out how the moving parts work, then you may understand how to appropriately biohack and what is species appropriate and what isn't. That's what I've understood. It's what that big slab of meat there is. That's going to help you because remember, taurine or the sulfurs in meat are what provides the keratin binding. And the protein itself is what is required for that stuff to grow. Good nails, so that are not cracked or anything like that. Oops, out of focus. Oh, anyway, you can't get a good service with some of the multimedia stuff, cameras and crap like that. Anyway, but people need to understand that when you look at tribal people that are on a species appropriate diet, we don't see these things. So why would humans all of a sudden in modern era require more carbs when you can't even access them other than seasonally to basically engage a Randall cycle and fatten up? So you've got an additional sufficient body fat in the interglacial period, in these interglacial periods where there's leaner animals. And so we don't have the old mammoths with the big fat sort of stuff to provide us additional nutrition for energy production. And undernourishing by engaging potentially the Randall cycle, Mr. Blinkoff, can also have deleterious effects on your sort of pro-metabolic BS diet. Yes, I've heard all the nonsense. Yes, I have decided to basically, I have done some videos in regards to our dear long past friend Ray Peat. Yes, towards the end, he degenerated into he couldn't even string two sentences together. It was so demented or, heading that way. I wasn't surprised when he did pass away eventually. That's why I couldn't imagine what he looked like because he stopped even appearing in person. That's how bad he probably looked. So let that be a lesson to you to not be a reductionist fanatic and learn to think differently and look at archaeology. The evidence is there. If you look hard enough, Georgie, you'll realise that species appropriate diet is absolutely baked into the bones of our ancestors. The N15 and the carbon data does not lie, and neither does the recent zinc data that actually supports and solidifies the three, like a trinity of truth, that what is species appropriate. But if you can't overcome your reductionist brainwashing, well, you will suffer the same fate as your master. Repeat. Hopefully the rest of you, people out there, lovely people, don't fall for the same bullshit. See yous.